In today's video, I fill details with a party, create a new Zimmerit texture. Also, I attach wooden toothpick between thundercracks. I paint exhaust with a sponge, and as usual, I apply some disgusting mud. Hello, fellow modelers! I got a request to make a Stuck 4 in 7:2 scale from the 17 SS Panzergrenadier Division. This old Dragon kit is not available for a long time, so it was tricky to find it. Nowadays are available only Stuck 3 types. The kit is old, but the details are lovely and everything fits nicely. There is only a small problem. This type should have a Zimmerit, which was a unique anti-magnetic overlay. Basically, in practice, it was protection against magnetic anti-tank weapons. The box art has it, but the kit itself not so much. Therefore, let's create it. It is essential to make it very soft in 7:2 scale, otherwise the result will not be realistic. I made my mix from Tamiya Grey Putty and Mr. Color leveling thinner. I use for texture razor saw, and it's essential to have a razor saw with a soft teeth. The Stuck 4 design is quite irregular, therefore the whole work with the Zimmerit is time consuming. I am applying diluted putty on the surface in thin layer, then let dry partly for 1 minute. I couldn't make lines around the details with the whole razor saw, therefore I split it into small pieces. I can afford to destroy it because it costs only $2. As follows, you can nicely make a new Zimmerit texture in 7:2 scale. I do not need to be perfectly precise and accurate, the real texture was also handmade. I must describe details that I filled with a putty, and small details like hinges I can clean with a leveling thinner. Do not try to apply putty on the whole model at once. The putty is dry after 5 minutes and then is impossible to process it. Rather, make a small sections and then continue to another one. I am quite pleased with the result. The texture is nicely soft and the details are still there. I didn't expect that. The gun barrel is not made from metal, so it is essential to gently remove mold lines and restore lines. I do not want to make more modifications, but the good is to thin down machine gun armor plate. There are 2 options for spare wheels, and one part is very simplified. I use as a drill bit hypodermic needles. They are extra sharp and perfect for micro holes. I realized according to documentation that the side armor plates holders are also quite thick. Here we go, the second part of this video is primarily about painting and weathering. I don't use primer because I don't want to fill Zimmerit texture, so this time only soft layers of acrylic paints. I use accurate German shades, but they are mixed for a larger scale, and if you are making small models you need lighter shades. So if I'm spraying a dark yellow shade on the surface, I must make also the surface lighter with highlights. As you can notice, I am spraying light paint only on raised or pronounced areas. The wheels are cleverly designed, thus you can paint rubber separately. The wheels do not fit precisely, so it is good to correct symmetry. It is hard to paint dark green and red-brown stains sharply, even if you have a good airbrush with a small nozzle. The most essential is proper dilution, and with a few drops of a retarder, which prolongs drying time. There is only a side camouflage scheme, so I made the stains more or less randomly. I'm not too fond of rubber tantracks, but I didn't find a replacement set, so I was forced to use them. The only advantage is that you can easily make a track sagging. How to make this effect? Simply add some template between wheels and fix the position with a super glue. You can see that the color does not adhere to the rubber surface, so there will be essentially some repairs with a paintbrush. Okay, let's do some weathering. The engine exhaust was usually very rusty due to high temperature and humidity. I am making rust texture and residual camouflage paint with a sponge and highly diluted Vallejo paint. You can protect the paint job and result with a semi-gloss varnish. Now I'm making Zimmerit texture and details more pronounced with a brown wash, and lines and rivets with a dark brown. Nice effect are random matte splatters. I am making this effect with enamel paint. And now accumulated matte. I don't use any weathering products. Instead I mix my matte from plaster, dry earth pigment, sawdust, water and a little bit of PVA glue. The surface looks clean and new, so I can make some scratches. However, I wanted only a few of them, therefore I didn't use a chipping varnish technique and only painting sketches with a paintbrush. I can achieve even more pronounced color modulation with oil paints. I am painting small dots and then blending them with a white spirit. This technique will make the surface optically less uniform. Oil paints are also great for oil leaks or stains, and if you don't like the result, you can wipe it out with a thinner and eventually try to make a needed effect again. The last but not least step is accumulated dust on the surface. I use for this effect again enamel paints, because you can nicely spray a soft layer with an airbrush and then wipe excess paint with a white spirit. This is quite dangerous technique because you can ruin the whole paint job if you are not careful, so instead don't try it. But basically what I want to achieve is scratched green or red paint on the base yellow. I'm careful removing the top color layer with an aggressive color cleaner. And that is all for the small Sturmgeschütz. I'm glad that I tested Zimmerit, so I'm no longer scared of new projects with similar textures. However, I still like one color vehicles more, because the painting and weathering is easier. But I think the result is not the worst. Here is the presentation of the finished model. Thank you for watching and see you next time.